Hello everyone, get ready to witness nature's raw power like never before. From small twisters tearing through open fields to massive EF4 monsters ripping apart entire towns. These are real tornadoes caught on camera. Every second is pure chaos, destruction, and survival. Stay tuned as we show you unbelievable footage of people facing the fury of the storm and living to tell the tale. This is Real Tornadoes Caught on Camera. China also sees its share of tornadoes, and while locals are somewhat accustomed to them, the one that appeared on May 31, 2015 was unforgettable. A fierce twister formed in plain sight in a northeastern village. On video, it appears slow, but that's an illusion. Its force was powerful enough to flip a truck and damage multiple buildings. Back in Japan, on May 6, 2012, a tornado tore through the prefecture of Ibaraki, damaging more than 100 buildings. Around 10 kilometers of Tsukuba City were devastated by winds reaching 248 kilometers per hour. On June 28, 2025, in South Dakota, cameras captured the exact moment a small funnel cloud rapidly grew into a fully formed tornado in just 30 seconds. A man named Shah happened to be in its path but couldn't resist filming the extraordinary sight. Fortunately, early warnings from the National Weather Service gave nearby towns enough time to seek shelter. On July 12, 2025, in Utah, firefighters witnessed the birth of a fire whirl. When intense heat from a wildfire rises, it pulls in surrounding air and begins to spin, creating what's often called a fire tornado. Even experienced fire crews were powerless against it. They attempted to contain the flames, but could only save one of their vehicles. What makes these whirlwinds especially dangerous is their ability to hurl burning debris, often sparking new fires. Luckily, this one burned out without spreading further. On June 16, 2014, the residents of the small town of Pilger, Nebraska, lived through a day they would never forget, forever remembered as the Day of the Twins. A single storm unleashed not one, but two tornadoes, almost identical in form, moving side by side like eerie copies of one another.
I've never seen anything like this in my life. Look how violent this one is. It's about to drop right here, this whole thing.
We have multiple tornadoes on the ground here. I've never seen anything like this. I've been storm chasing for probably 10 to 12.
Now, imagine being on the road, staring directly at this terrifying force of nature. The wind was howling at nearly 265 kilometers per hour, yet somehow, by sheer luck and perfect timing, one driver managed to slip between the two monsters unharmed.
I've been storm chasing for probably 10 to 12 years professionally, and this is just very, very dangerous.
Meanwhile, in Cochran County, Texas, residents were warned of severe weather on June 5, 2025. A local farmer managed to film a massive tornado that came dangerously close to his land. turned out to be the largest of a series of tornadoes that began in New Mexico and swept into Texas. The footage looks like something out of an apocalyptic film, completely surreal. Tornadoes are often narrow, but this one caused widespread destruction. Houses leveled, cars swept away, and trees uprooted. Thankfully, residents found shelter in time.
Auto. Auto, ya va.
Florida wasn't spared either. A seemingly small EF1 tornado turned out to be far more destructive than expected.
Yo. Oh my gosh, it's flipping cars! Oh my goodness. Oh my god.
Incredibly, it managed to hurl a pickup truck into the air. Thankfully, it was empty, but the scene was no less shocking. In Indiana, an incredible act of love was caught on camera. On March 19, 2025, as a tornado approached, a family dashed outside into heavy rain and wind to bring their dog indoors. Just seconds later, the storm struck with winds of 177 kilometers per hour, tearing apart everything, including the exact spot where the dog had been. Their perfectly timed rescue likely saved their pet's life. From St. Louis comes footage taken right in a parking lot, an unforgettable reminder of how quickly the weather can shift. On May 16, 2025, FEMA officials classified this tornado as the largest the area had seen in 14 years. It touched down for just 26 minutes, moving at an average of 89 kilometers per hour. That might not sound extraordinary for a tornado, but it was still enough to cause devastating destruction, leaving behind $1.6 billion in damages across the city. Dolores, Uruguay, knows this all too well. On April 15, 2016, the city was struck by an EF3 to EF4 tornado with winds up to 322 kilometers per hour. Cars were flipped, trees uprooted, and power lines destroyed. The storm swept across the city, leaving behind $35 million in damages. Sandstorms can be just as eerie. In August 2025, a time lapse in Chandler, Arizona showed a massive haboob consuming the city. By 5 p.m., the sky was completely dark. Airports, too, have fallen victim to sudden storms. In one case, light winds quickly escalated into a violent tornado. Despite planes being secured, one was actually lifted off the ground. After incidents like this, it became standard practice to store aircraft inside hangars whenever severe weather threatens.
It's hard to even imagine the extent of the material damage. After such incidents, it became common practice to keep planes in hangars.
Just 2 years earlier, in 2014, the Italian city of Modena had experienced something similar when a powerful tornado disrupted an ordinary workday, wreaking havoc outside while terrified workers huddled indoors.
Via, state lontani, oh.
Airports in Brazil weren't immune either. On January 26, 2020, strong gusts ripped roofing from a terminal building. The storm forced all flights to be suspended for safety.
Rower. Rower. Rower.
Oh my god. Holy I got it, dude.
Get outside
I got
and
it.
video it.
Right now?
Yeah.
April 27, 2011, is a date Alabama will never forget. Tornadoes ripped across several counties, snapping trees, tearing roofs, and flattening out buildings. At its widest, it measured 1.3 kilometers across, with damage felt more than 200 kilometers away. Cleanup costs were staggering.
No, that's an EF3.
There's two of them.
We need to go that way.
No,
Chandler,
we're fine.
God damn it,
We're
go
fine.
back.
We're fine.
Chandler, go the fuck back. I'm not kidding.
Storm chasers in Alabama once dreamed of seeing an F5 tornado up close. But when they finally
know if
did,
this thing can
with
change
winds reaching
directions. We're not
512 kilometers per hour,
experts.
they quickly realized it was best admired from a distance.
It's crossing the interstate right where we were. Oh my god. You can see huge debris. Chandler, chill out for a second. Let's just sit right here. We're good right here.
Shelly's got to get safe. We're fine. We're
Oh
fine.
my god, yeah, we're semi-good now. Oh my god. That thing is destroying everything.
Let's go right over the knee switch.
And there's a monster. Pretty good one.
That same year, multiple vortex tornadoes tore through the state, part of an outbreak that produced 367 tornadoes nationwide, causing a record $2.4 billion in damage.
Quick. And there's a monster. Pretty good one.
Yeah, watch it now. It's leaning our way.
I know it. Oh, man. Quick, man. Help me breathe.
Back in Uruguay, April 2016 brought yet another devastating tornado to Dolores, marking the second most destructive in the country's history.
Oh my gosh, complete devastation. I mean, this is crossing I-44. I am at, I think this is 104th or 129th, Southwest 104th.
Meanwhile, in Oklahoma on May 20th, 2013, a tornado lasting just 39 minutes destroyed 1,500 homes in Moore, causing nearly $2 billion in losses. Meanwhile, in Colorado, people experienced the tense challenge of keeping calm as a tornado loomed nearby.
Mira, písale, mi amor, písale mi vida porque, mira, lo viene aquí. Sí, písalo, písalo. Písale, hija. Písale. My boy. Pero ese es policía, ¿qué quieres? ¿Qué tiene? Pues si el tornado viene para acá. Que no está viendo. Vean el tornado, qué miedo. Qué miedo, está grandísimo, hija.
In a rare turn of events, a mother was heard urging her daughter to drive faster, desperate to escape the approaching twister. The mother was both awestruck by the sight and terrified, her instincts torn between fascination and fear as they raced to safety. A tornado forms when a significant temperature contrast exists between the surface and the upper atmosphere, combined with shifting wind speeds and directions at different altitudes. When these elements align, a rotating funnel cloud can emerge, a mesmerizing display of nature's fury that is both terrifying and hypnotic to watch.
A mesmerizing natural phenomenon you can't take your eyes off.
In Washington, a man couldn't resist filming a massive tornado that formed near his home. To his amazement, he captured the dramatic instant when the funnel abruptly changed direction and began moving the opposite way. Both he and his pets were incredibly fortunate. They not only witnessed a powerful display of nature, but also managed to remain completely unharmed.
stick it out as long as I can. It looks like it's changing direction a little bit. See it throwing stuff up in the sky.
A courageous driver in China decided not to stop when confronted by a powerful sandstorm, instead daringly steering straight into its very core. It was an incredibly risky decision, but on this occasion, it worked in his favor. The footage reveals the surreal experience of being inside the storm. Visibility drops to nearly zero, and the air itself feels like a dense, moving wall of dust. Even this thrill-seeker eventually had to ease off the accelerator to avoid potential dangers hidden in the haze. On April 23, 2021, professional tornado chasers successfully forecasted the appearance of a twister in a Texas county. Upon arrival, they were rewarded with a breathtaking and rare spectacle: a pure white funnel cloud swirling above a dust-filled vortex, with a vibrant rainbow forming off to the side. It was the perfect combination of beauty and danger, nature's raw power on full display. Tornadoes can take on a variety of colors depending on environmental factors. When the sun is positioned behind a twister and the vortex collects large amounts of dust and debris, the tornado can appear nearly pitch black, creating an even more menacing spectacle. In Japan, an ordinary football match came to a sudden halt when an unexpected small sandstorm spun to life directly on the field. Within moments, it swept across the pitch and dissipated, leaving stunned players and spectators behind. In 2018, a factory worker in Iowa captured the exact moment a tornado struck his workplace. The storm's winds exceeded 200 kilometers per hour, damaging, and in some cases completely destroying, several industrial structures. Fortunately, the main factory withstood the impact. Thanks to an early warning siren, workers had enough time to seek refuge in safe areas, narrowly avoiding disaster. A Polish fisherman's outing took an unexpected turn when the weather suddenly shifted. On July 14, 2012, a group of men set out to spend a peaceful day fishing on a lake. But out of nowhere, a tornado began to take shape right over the water. What's that?
Jak to możliwe? Nie wiem.
Fortunately, it drifted away from their location, leaving them unharmed, yet gifting them an experience they would remember for the rest of their lives. Even trees and solidly built structures offer little resistance to the immense force of an F4 tornado. The machine operator in this footage was incredibly fortunate that the storm didn't come any closer. With wind speeds reaching up to 380 kilometers per hour, such a twister could easily lift a human being right off the ground. In 2011, one of the most catastrophic tornadoes in modern history tore through Alabama, devastating the cities of Tuscaloosa and Birmingham. By the time it reached residential zones, every major news outlet was already broadcasting urgent warnings to residents. This disaster still stands as one of the most expensive tornadoes ever recorded, inflicting destruction at an astonishing rate of nearly $450,000 every second. One of the most devastating aspects of a tornado is what comes after it passes. Take, for instance, the city of Dolores in Uruguay, which was struck by a powerful tornado in 2016. It's almost unimaginable how many people, hours of labor, and resources were required to rebuild the area, especially when nearly every street was left in complete ruin. The year 2021 is one that the people of the Czech Republic will remember for decades to come. On June 24th, a powerful tornado tore through several villages, the largest ever documented in European history. At its widest point, the tornado stretched an incredible 3.5 kilometers across. Classified as an F4, it didn't just uproot trees, it flung vehicles through the air and flattened even the most solidly built structures.
No, šlo to. No, vidíš to. Já jsem ho taky našel na hromadě už.
Approximately 121,000 homes were left without power, while 1,200 houses were completely destroyed, and another 180 had to be demolished afterward. The total financial toll was staggering, amounting to an estimated $73 million in damages. In a heart-stopping moment, a resident of Fairdale, Illinois, captured terrifying footage of a massive tornado tearing straight toward his home. The sky turned pitch black as roaring winds and flying debris filled the air.